In a place not marked clearly on most maps, and rarely discussed even by people who lived nearby, there was a wide, gentle valley known as the Valley of Quiet Hours. It was not famous for anything in particular. It had no dramatic cliffs, no roaring rivers, and no legends worth repeating. The valley simply existed, doing what it had always done, hour after hour, day after day. The mornings in the Valley of Quiet Hours arrived without urgency. The sun rose slowly, as if it had plenty of time and nowhere else it needed to be. Light crept across the fields in a patient way, touching the grass, the low stone walls, and the roofs of small houses that all looked vaguely similar. The houses were not especially old or especially new. They were just there, standing quietly, their windows reflecting the pale sky. Most people in the valley woke up at nearly the same time each day, though no one had officially agreed on it. Alarm clocks were uncommon. Instead, people stirred when the light felt bright enough, when the air felt just a little warmer than before. They stretched, sat up, and took a moment to notice that nothing unusual was happening. This was reassuring. One such person was a man named Elias. Elias lived in a modest house near the center of the valley, close enough to everything that nothing ever felt far away. He had lived there for many years, long enough that the sounds of the place, soft wind, distant footsteps, the occasional creak of wood, felt familiar and unremarkable. Elias began each day in much the same way. He sat on the edge of his bed, placed his feet on the floor, and paused for a few seconds. He was not thinking about anything important. Sometimes he counted his breaths without meaning to. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. When he felt ready, he stood up. The floor was cool, but not uncomfortably so. The room held a quiet stillness, broken only by the faint rustle of curtains moving slightly as the morning air slipped through an open window. Elias walked to the window and looked out. The view was the same as it had been yesterday, and the day before that, and the week before that. A stretch of grass, a narrow path, and beyond it, more grass. Satisfied that everything was as expected, Elias turned away and began preparing his breakfast. Breakfast in the Valley of Quiet Hours was never complicated. Elias filled a kettle with water and set it on the stove. He waited. While waiting, he took a cup from the shelf and placed it on the table. He waited some more. When the kettle was ready, he poured the water slowly, watching steam rise and disappear. He sat down and drank in small sips. The warmth spread gently, without surprise. He did not rush. There was no reason to. The day stretched ahead of him, wide and empty, like the valley itself.